The comment section, formerly known as the comment section with Brett Cooper, is actually living up to its name, because if you haven't gone to the comment section to see what people are commenting, then you may not know what I am talking about. It is no longer news that the Daily Wire have replaced Brett Cooper with her best friend Reagan, and people are not even happy with this, because oh my god, no matter how many classes Reagan takes, she can never be Brett Cooper. And as a result of this, people are so angry, and the comment section is on fire right now. And in this video, Candace Owens will be reviewing the comment section with Reagan and what people have been saying. And you guys, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And let's see what Candice have for us in this video.
This is the last episode of the year. I'm just doing it from my laptop. It feels super organic, sort of back where we began. So many things to discuss, so many things happening. First, we absolutely must discuss the comment section at the Daily Wire, because honestly, what was the Daily Wire thinking? This is crazy. They premiered Brett Cooper clone, and it's going about just as you would imagine, meaning it has been an abject failure. Let's discuss all of that coming up right now on Candace. All right, guys. So first, let's just recap everything that happened. It's been a very long 10 days. 10 days ago, Brett Cooper announced in a somewhat emotionally strained video, I think that's putting it lightly, that she was leaving the Daily Wire. It was actually her and the CEO of a Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, in this combo video. Let's just reflect on that. Take a listen.
Hey guys, some of you have heard the rumors online, and the rumors are mostly true. Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. And now for some final thoughts from the God King himself, Jeremy Boring.
Bittersweet indeed. We're sad to see Brett go, but we're excited to see her take the next step in her journey. Brett's an amazing talent, both as a personality and as an actress. It's been a pleasure to see her bring the comment section to life these last 3 years, and her performance in the Pendragon cycle is sensational. I'm certain that whatever Brett creates next will be filled with the same joy and laughter and heart that she's brought to all of her work at the Daily Wire. And we wish her nothing but the best.
So yes, it very much read like an ISIS beheading video. It seemed like they were being held hostage potentially by their lawyers. But as far as splits go, it was handled professionally. But then there was a ton of innuendo. And I should say, by the way, this innuendo was leading up to the moment of the split. People were suggesting that actually Brett Cooper had gotten knifed by her best friend and maid of honor, which, by the way, fact-checked true. It was indeed her maid of honor that was announced to be taking over the comment section, a young woman named Reagan Conrad. And the internet was very upset about this, but there was no confirmation that came from Brett per se until after her announcement. Then the internet started interneting and recognizing some things. First and foremost, they recognized that Brett Cooper unfollowed Reagan. Okay, that is a major sign. Obviously, this woman was in her wedding in April. Now, all of a sudden, Brett Cooper has completely unfollowed her. That kind of signaled that a little more went on behind the scenes. On top of that, Brett Cooper also unfollowed the Daily Wire, and she unfollowed Jeremy Boring. So, yeah, like I said, some blood in the water. But then the ultimate confirmation came. The mother of all bombs. And when I say mother, I mean the mother of Brett Cooper. Some internet sleuths had noticed that Brett Cooper's mom, a woman named Diane Cooper, was liking some interesting posts. And I'm going to read you which post it was that she liked on Instagram. It was a comment that was being directed to Reagan. It reads, "No matter how many acting classes you take or watch Brett's old videos, you will never be Brett. It's sad that you took the money and snubbed your best friend. I hope the amount of money DW offered was worth your friendship with Brett. You lost a good one." So yeah, a little bit of drama went down. Moms don't hold back at all on the internet. And if this is how it went down, obviously you could imagine you're a mom. It's the big day. Your daughter's getting married. She's next to her best friend, someone you think is her best friend, Reagan, whatever, walking down the aisle next to her. And then all of a sudden, just completely stabbed in the back. Completely crazy. But it turned out that really, if you think about it, didn't really matter whether or not it happened if everyone was going to move on from it until Okay. Like I said, friendships end, they fall apart. Women are awful. You listen to my podcast, I say all the time, women are awful. I've seen women do so many awful things. But what happened next was something that I think none of us were actually thinking was real. I thought that it was internet conspiracy. It was so shocking because the internet very strongly signaled, whatever you do, Daily Wire, don't do this, right? Don't try to have this young woman, Reagan, pretend to be Brett, because that would be very weird, obviously. You cannot train somebody to be somebody else and think that the public is not going to notice this. And like I said, I thought it was a conspiracy. I said there's absolutely no way that management is going to roll out Brett Cooper clone. If they're going to do the show with Reagan, they're going to build a different show around her that features her personality and not Brett's. And like I said, there were so many people on the internet signaling to them, don't do this. It's super creepy. Here is just one example of that. This YouTuber is called Decoy Voice, and he really spells it out. Take a listen.
I was talking to a girl with the family I was staying with before. She's like an 18-year-old chick that loves Brett Cooper. She's a total super fan. And she was like, yeah, the Reagan episodes are kind of weird.
Welcome back to the comment section. So obviously, I talk car brand into a whole new stratosphere of woke confusion. I'm concerned about feminism. I'm concerned about the growing gender divide. But before we get into today's episode, make sure you like this video. Before we dive into this episode, though, make sure that you like this video if you have not already. If you've not already.
As I understand, two best friends are going to have similar mannerisms, but you can't convince me this isn't done entirely on purpose, as this just looks like when two people pick the same character in Street Fighter, where they have all the same moves with a different color scheme.
I should also offer here that the title of that video is This Show is Creepy Now. As I said, it was explicit, video after video, millions of views on all of these videos, and the comment section of all of these videos agreeing, just being like, no, they cannot produce a clone. They got to give this girl her own show. But for whatever reason, Daily Wire ignored all of those signs, and they very quickly, I feel like in 48 hours, turned around the comment section and just gave us like Brett Cooper, but not 2.0. In fact, the internet kept calling her a Temu Brett, essentially saying that this was like the Chinese knockoff version of Brett Cooper. They did not regroup. They did not rebrand the show. They even kept the girl wearing headphones, kind of like the same dorm setting, which was kind of strange because Brett Cooper, of course, is just 22. She began the show when she was 18. So this sort of like college vibe and the headphones made sense. Reagan's 29 years old. This is an adult woman, and she's kind of cosplaying a teenager in a dorm room. Super awkward, and we can say it was an abject failure. I mean, let's just go through some of these numbers, okay? So this has been 10 days. In 10 days, the comment section has lost 200,000 subscribers, okay? So when Brett Cooper made her announcement, the channel had 4.51 million subscribers. Today, it just keeps going down every time this Reagan girl posts. It's at 4.29 million subscribers. I'm just showing you guys this quick snapshot that I took of the channel. So this girl has produced 2 videos. This one, which is about the Duke lacrosse scandal, has been up for just under 2 days. Could not crack 100,000 views. She's got 71,000 views. The video behind it, even more abysmal, 42,000 views. So you imagine if it is true that she snaked her best friend and just took her 4.5 million subscribers, and she can't even get 100,000 of them to watch her video. And it's a small video. These are like 7-minute clips. These usually play very well because people have YouTube brain and they're not able to actually follow anything longer than 7 minutes. And the internet is saying absolutely not. I mean, it has gotten so bad that Benny Johnson, who is a friend to sort of everyone, actually did a video on the comment section of the comment section because he couldn't believe how much of a failure that it had been. And that video that Benny Johnson made is almost at 1 million views. Comments are exceptional, but again, all saying the exact same thing. This guy, Frank, writes, Brett Cooper is the comment section. That is horrible. This girl, Fiona, writes, yeah, I unsubscribed from the comment section. I'm not going to watch a chick being absolutely inauthentic, copying her friend who used to be in that show. The imitation is cringe. Dylan Smith writes, if I had to guess, Reagan offered to, quote unquote, be Brett Cooper for less money. If this is the case, then the Daily Wire may learn a hard truth that people and personalities aren't always replaceable. And that's a great thing to think about. Like, actually, why is this failing? How did it fail so hard? And I think the easy answer is we are in a market right now where the social economy is authenticity. You have to be authentic in whatever it is that you are bringing to the market, especially when it comes to Gen Zers. They sniff that stuff out faster than anybody else. They are the internet culture. And I think the second piece of that is America doesn't like a coronation. What was really shocking to me when I realized they were actually doing this, and this wasn't like internet innuendo, but like actually they were just going to replicate Brett Cooper, was we just went through an entire election cycle where Kamala Harris was just coronated. They just were like, hey, we're going to make Kamala Harris, and you have to just like Kamala Harris. And it's because Beyonce and Taylor Swift endorse her, and they say that that's good. And we forcefully rejected that. We said, no, actually, you cannot just coronate Kamala Harris. People have to actually run and earn their spot. And Trump has been running, it seems, for the last 4 years. And you're just going to give Kamala Harris 107 days and a couple of celebrity endorsements and just force feed her to us. I would think the Daily Wire would have seen that lesson, that it doesn't really work like that, and would have said, okay, we can't do that. If we think Reagan's this amazing talent, she's going to have to actually earn her keep. She can't just be coronated. And I think this person's comment perfectly encapsulates that. This is at Little Miss Stamper, and she is again commenting under the Benny Johnson video. She wrote, "There's just something gross about sitting in a spot that you didn't earn, talking to an audience that you didn't earn on a show that you didn't build, not to mention she was your friend." That's it. Like, totally. The internet is essentially saying she didn't earn these 4.65 million subscribers. So, yes, does the Daily Wire own the channel? Yes. Can the Daily Wire basically say we're forcing our Kamala Harris and you guys are all going to love her? Sure. But the market is going to respond to that. The market has responded to that, and the market is telling them no. So the question now is, what was Daily Wire thinking? This was a piece that I couldn't wrap my head around. I genuinely am so shocked by this decision, given everyone, again, on the internet saying, please don't. We were just watching a car crash in slow motion. I was going, no, is there anything we can do to stop this? And the answer was no. The management said, we're doing it anyways. And I thought to myself, was it maybe advertiser agreements? Was it they had to have a show every day and maybe some advertisers would have pulled out? Was it being motivated? I don't think likely. They could have easily taken a pause. It's the end of the year. They should have. If I was advising, I would have been like, take a full pause. It's Christmas. It's holiday time. No one's going to think, let's come back in the new year with something fresh. They didn't do that. And I don't think it was advertising dollars that was influencing it. Somebody said to me, maybe it was just continuity. They were thinking as long as they just had a show the next day, people would be used to listening to Brett Cooper and would just be back. Maybe, but again, not what I took away from this. What I really think it came down to is the Daily Wire is run by people who were formerly in theater, right? So you have Jeremy Boring, the company's called Bent Key. The reason it's called Bent Key is because he wears a bent key around his neck. And that key, he once wrote in a Daily Wire piece, was the key from the playhouse that he used to work at. He was an aspiring actor. He talks about how he failed in Hollywood. And so his background is in theater. And recently, Ben Shapiro went viral because he gave this review of Wicked that was very professional, talking about people singing in their head voice, and the internet was amazed that he was so up to date, I guess, on just theater stuff. And I think what you have are a lot of people, their background is in theater, and they thought through this equation like theater kids. They were just like, we needed an understudy. Reagan knows the part. Reagan knows how to do this. Reagan's been the producer. Reagan, Brett's leaving. Can you just be Brett? And it was just an accidental miss. Genuinely just totally did not read the room right, does not realize that podcasting is not the same as theater. You really can't do that. They're not looking for an understudy. They're looking for a real person. And they have to believe that that person is genuine, and they have to believe that that person is authentic. And in that way, I think they very much set up Reagan to fail. But also Reagan set herself up to fail, because if somebody came to me and said, just be your best friend, I'd be like, no. I love this opportunity. This is amazing, but I'm going to have to be myself and figure out who that is and if it's enough. And I think given all the toxicity there, it's strange that they went with Reagan. I think it was super easy for them to just find someone else on TikTok, somebody else with their own personality that's getting tons of views, who has the it factor. And that is what I want to say conclusively. You know, Brett Cooper has the it factor. Nobody really knows what the it factor is, but you know when you see it. And I remember the first time I saw a Brett Cooper video, actually, she was working at the Daily Wire, and I had no idea she was working at Daily Wire. And my husband kept saying, do you know this girl, Brett Cooper, that works there? And I'm like, no, I've never seen her. And he showed me her video, and the first time I saw it, I said, this girl just has the it factor. Just didn't feel that way when you watch Reagan perform. It's like, okay, this isn't the it factor. This feels like the forced it factor. This feels like the friend of the it factor. I just don't see how this is going to be a successful plan. They should have just regrouped, gone under. If I'm giving them advice today, shut it down fast. When the market tells you no, you're not going to be able to ever force the markets. And this is a pretty resounding no. And lastly, what I will say is the lesson in all of this is actually something that I learned from Matt Walsh. He always says, just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's a great little life tidbit. Like, you absolutely can. You own this channel, you can just find a friend of and put them up there and say, so what, deal with it. But you shouldn't. You shouldn't, because you should know that people are not going to respond well to that. And just because you contractually, legally, and from a business perspective can, doesn't mean that that's ultimately going to be good for you and your company. So that is the lesson in all of this. The comment section, I would say, is officially over.
You guys, I totally agree with Candace Owens on this. What exactly was the Daily Wire thinking to replace Reagan with Brett Cooper, and they think that people will be okay with that? The fact still remains, no matter how many acting classes Reagan takes, she can never and will never be Brett Cooper, because there is something special about Brett. Reagan is just a backstabber. And the funny thing is that it's so wide, because the views you are seeing currently on the comment section is not because people are interested in Reagan, but because they have to open the video first in order to comment. I can bet you that the audience retention on those videos is actually nothing to write home about. I have never seen any channel with such amount of negative comments. At this point, I'll say the comment section has failed as a channel. And let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Do you agree with Candace Owens? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this particular one, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.